Mark here for another great Wisdom and Knowledge 5 podcast episode. And I bring on an incredible guest who cares about humanity. We met where I worked. We've had discussions on the way the world is run, what's going on in the world. And I just knew, after having, several conversations with him, that he would be the perfect guest for this platform. And please welcome Universal Unitarian minister Don Cameron. Was that correct as your
No, but I'll,
title?
I'll clean it up for you.
Okay, thank you.
Where you work, and I'm a Unitarian Universalist minister. So, are you going to ask me questions, or how are we going to go?
No, we're going all in on, what's going on in the world. First of all, give a little background that because you've been a minister across this country, so you have a feel of what it's like in different parts of the U.S.
Of the country, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The country is very different. The parts you go. Um, Let's see if I can remember. I haven't unpacked my books, but there's a book a guy did. He traced all the Europeans who settled here initially and what their views were and things. And the country pretty well fills that out. The Europeans who settled the Northeast believed government was something that was good and could help people. The people who settled the South and the Midwest hated government. And here we are, and it's always been interesting that what's going on in the United States now has been going on for a long, long time. It's just reached
Sure.
a breaking point. But to me, my own opinion really is the root cause is white supremacy of all of this. And is what has held this country back for years and years and years. And it has historical roots. When the Constitution was ratified, the first legislation that Congress passed was the Nationalization Act of 1790, which basically stated that only free white people can be citizens. And that meant you had to be male and you had to own land. And everybody else couldn't be a citizen. So it's really, people understanding American history, it's really the American Civil War and the aftermath of that how we understand our country, that's where it really emerged from. The idea that we have to be a multiracial democracy. And this is immoral, what we've done for 200 years or 300 years. So, and I lived in Chicago. Mayor Brandon Johnson, who I knew when I was there, he just said, what Trump's trying to do is have a rematch of the Civil War. He's serious.
Makes perfect sense. And you've lived in DC also. What do you think about what's going on there? Because this is clearly, martial law. What they're doing.
Oh well, it's illegal. It's not legal. It's constitutionally not legal. And it's time for Americans to really wake up. Fascism is here. We're a fascist country now.
Yeah.
And a guy that I like a lot, Natasha Coates, and he wrote a book I really like, Between the World and Me. He's African American, writes for The Atlantic, all kinds of things. But he's moved out of the country because a black man in America is not a nice experience. And they asked him what he thought of during all this Trump uproar. What was his main impression? And he bluntly said Americans are cowards.
Mm. Yeah,
They don't stand up to him.
no, not at all. And
And
some
I
a lot
don't
of people
really
worship him.
quite understand all that, but I'm sure there's, it's a different world. I'm 71. I was a hippie.
Hmm.
I was at May Day in Washington, D.C. and, and other thing. And so, for people like me, this is just crushing
Hmm.
because you've spent your whole career trying to help the country form a more perfect union. And now the white supremacists want to take us back before the Voting Rights Act. That's really what's going on.
Hmm.
And I'll go, probably why you want. But for me, Republican now equals Confederacy.
Hmm.
This is the resurgence of the Confederacy. And in American history, I'd have to run to go get, but it's there's always been about 30%, or there's always been people who don't believe in democracy in America and things. When we wrote the Declaration of Independence, the South hated it.
Hmm.
They hated the Declaration of Independence. But with the people on the far right, there was always this tolerance. And of course, the North never really made the South pay for Jim Crow.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking, we never punished the South for its rebellion. It was treason. And the South was never punished. And I still believe in the Lincoln malice towards none. And that's the American tradition. But we also, we didn't prosecute Nixon. And now we've got a Nixon too, who's much
Hmm.
more dangerous than Nixon ever was. But for the and the other thing about this from my own mind is, the racial thing is very real. I think the election, that race was the real factor. But this is
Hmm.
also a takeover of the ultra rich. They
Yeah.
don't like democracy. They don't want
No, not at
democracy.
all.
Then
Hmm.
they have to play fair. They have to, play within the rules and have to be nice to people. And that's not what they want. And I'm really concerned of a country that would elect someone so morally corrupt
Hmm.
as their president. Is just. Um, so I think my own opinion is a lot of people vote for him because they want the white supremacy and they tolerate all this other stuff if he'll
Hmm.
follow through with that. And you see, he's really trying. It's brown people first, black people second, white liberals next.
Hmm.
It's the old thing from Nazi Germany with the minister who said, they came for the trade unionist, and I didn't speak up, and they came for this and came for that, and then they came for me, and
Hmm.
there was no one left to speak up. And that's what this cowardly silence in America. But I think it's exploding. It's really
Hmm.
exploding. People are coming out and it's exploding. And so we're in the middle of a revolution, really. And I'm an old, I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Civil rights means a lot to me in my experience. And in my own opinion, we're in the third Reconstruction.
Hmm.
The first Reconstruction was the actual Reconstruction with Abraham Lincoln, and they killed Lincoln.
Hmm.
The second Reconstruction was Martin Luther King Jr., and they killed King. And the third Reconstruction really appeared under the banner of Black Lives Matter. And now, so the difference is there's no charismatic leader like King. It's just completely grassroots movement. And Black Lives Matter was simply Black mothers worried about their children.
Hmm.
And I can tell I've been in churches, integrated churches. That's kind of And Black parents worry all the time. When I was in Minnesota, he wouldn't let his son have a driver's license because he was
Hmm.
afraid what the police would do. And this was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And, you know, Minnesota's like North Carolina, outside the triangle
Hmm.
and outside of Minneapolis. It's pretty conservative. I mean, it's, you know,
Yeah.
but, you know, the country's in a real mix. And what really disappoints me is people not speaking up, is they're really, really addicted to their money.
Hmm. Sure.
They're really addicted to their money. And usually, you know, with Nixon and stuff, the business community stood up, and the congressman had walked down to the White House and say, you don't have support anymore. We can't. And that's what needs to happen now. But, you know, when you think about Trump, people say, well, we got to get rid of Trump. Well, you know, I just think he's the head of the monster.
Hmm. You
There's
nailed
all
it.
these people that think this way and believe this way. And it's just the hard reality in America that racism's alive and well, and that the whole American predicament, if we're going to be really honest, it's white people that are the problem. They're the problem.
Hmm.
And, you know, if you open this country up and let all boats rise, this could become a very powerful, nice place for people. And but white America really has this idea that if anyone of color uh, gets anything for them, that it puts white people down, that they
Hmm.
lose somehow. And that goes all the way back to the Civil War, too. Really, if you want to understand America, you have to understand the Civil War and understand that the American Revolution really was the first Civil War. And nobody wants to speak this in American history, but Britain and Europe had just abolished slavery. We're not just, but had abolished slavery. And the British were telling the colonialists, you can't have slavery.
Hmm.
And so we went to war
Yeah.
because the cotton mills in the North were too dependent on the South. And the funny thing about that American history is the slave owners, the South, had all the money. They had more money than all the factories and everything combined in the North. And and so the South really, and it has, in my mind, the South has always been able to bamboozle Congress in the North. But they
Okay.
were able to, you know, get advantages where they could cheat, the three-fifths clause.
Hmm.
And the electoral college, it causes us so much problems. That was specifically put in the Constitution to protect the slave owners and what their position would be, you know,
Hmm.
in a democracy. And it just needs to go. But
Yeah.
you'll have a hard time uh, because, you know, it's, we're going to find out if they, and it's really sad how now we're going to gerrymander, and both sides are just going to gerrymander and at the same time destroy all confidence in American government.
Hmm.
It's what Trump wants.
Yeah, and it goes even further because and a lot of the people, I think, waking up because there's a lot of, especially like 20 somethings, because you look at
Oh
these,
yeah, yeah.
what's going on in Gaza and things like that. But a big wake up call was how much these politicians are getting paid by, special interests like APAC and others, big pharma, you name it. They're being bought and sold, and people are sick of it.
Well, it's the Citizens Supreme Court
Hmm.
decision that allow dark money into politics. And my solution to that is on your tax return, you donate $5, and that's how we run the elections. No
Mm-hmm.
more dark money, no more anything. You can do 4 debates and people get to see what you say, but we take all the crap out of it, all this
Mm-hmm.
big money. Now, people are going to tell me, well, that's free speech. Well, that's my argument. It's not free speech.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and this gerrymandering, why, I understand how why they do that and the selfishness and stuff, but I don't know. It's going to, because California, because, the fact of the matter is there's more Northern people than everybody else and West
Mm-hmm.
Coast. And if they gerrymander, the South, it's almost like this is a repeat of the Lost Cause, which was the Confederate, war.
Mm-hmm.
That this is another lost cause, because in the end, it just can't stand on its own. But what troubles me the most about it all is just the hate.
Mm-hmm.
The hate. This is the hate. And if you don't think this is what happened in Nazi Germany, then he used the playbook line for line. Just
Mm-hmm.
go read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, if you need convincing.
Yeah.
But this is, and we're now in a fascist country, and we're very close to him becoming a complete dictator.
If he's
Very
not
much like the
already.
Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
No, it'd be like the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
I guess I should say America has always been important to me, but I've always been critical of it, very critical of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, I never thought I'd see this day.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's completely different. Like you said, it's been going on for a long, long time, but now it's just gotten, I think, worse than ever.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But it's, again, people focus on him, but it's the people that are behind him. And
Oh,
they're not
hands
going to go
down.
away.
Hmm.
And you have a Supreme Court that's stuffed with people that don't even should be there.
But
Um,
there's also his followers are so brainwashed to the point of absurdity. Like they'll be, okay, I'm against people like Bill Gates. Well, he's working with Bill Gates. As soon as he got elected, he got together with Bill Gates to work on some turbo vaccine, and he's working with Thiel of Palantir.
well, you knew
All
Gates
these
well.
people.
They're both Epstein people.
Yeah, thank you.
They both
Mm-hmm.
participated in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yes.
here's will get me in real trouble. But this is my own opinion. Everything's my own opinion. But you look at these photographs of 14-year-olds on his knee and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
he's Epstein. He's right in the middle of it.
Oh
And
yeah.
now in America is tolerating a predator,
Mm-hmm.
a pedophile predator who has
Yep.
had sex with 14-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And rumor is that he did that in Russia too, and that's part of what Putin has on him.
Ah, okay. I
And
didn't
you
hear
can
about
see how
that.
that, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a beauty pageant.
Oh, okay. That makes
He's
perfect
been a
sense. Mm-hmm.
sick pedophile his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
talks about his daughter. Oh, I would screw
Yep.
her. You know, it's just, and people just, because I'll come back to the point, people put up with this because he's the savior of white supremacy. He
Mm-hmm.
will he will make make America great again. Translation: make America white again, and that's exactly what that slogan means. Even though he stole it from the 30s, you
Yeah.
know, in American history, but originality is not his strong point. But
No, not at all. There's always a reason behind, and other things too, like Kennedy aligning with him, I'm not surprised one bit because I went to rally. They had like a World Freedom Rally, back in 2021 when
Hmm.
all the COVID stuff was going on. And this is in, well, you were in Orange County, right? This was in Huntington Beach. So
Oh yeah.
I went
Oh
from
yeah.
Phoenix. I was living in Phoenix, so I said, okay, I'll go to one in California. It might be a little bit different than, Phoenix, where it was all, Trump, Trump, that.
It's a red state. Yeah.
And it was the same thing in Huntington Beach. It was a Trump rally. This is 2021. And they had flags that said Trump, Kennedy, 24. So I'm not surprised one bit that RFK Jr. aligned with him. I think it's all part of the plan, you know?
It's I served a church in Providence, Rhode Island, and
Mm-hmm.
was able to because was able to rub elbows with some of the Kennedys. And
Okay.
Robert Jr. is mentally ill, and it's the family. The family actually came to Biden before the election to apologize.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I remember that well.
but he's wow. And what's so painful about it is that's Robert Kennedy's son.
Hmm. Yeah.
And Robert Kennedy of the Kennedys. I mean, imagine America if they didn't kill Jack Kennedy, if they didn't kill Robert Kennedy, if they didn't kill Martin Luther King Jr.,
Hmm.
if they didn't kill, on down the line.
Yeah.
But that's American politics. Um,
Yeah.
but that was, I never thought, again, I'm 71, so a hippie. I never thought we pissed him off that bad. But ever since Nixon, this has been a kind of right leaning imperial presidency party.
Yeah.
And behind that is it's just the realization, the white people their realization that they're less than a decade away from being the minority in
Hmm.
the United States. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
And and as my black friends will say, oh, well, so we'll go back to the day of mediocre white boys.
Hmm.
But when you think about it, and when I was in Georgia, I actually talked to some, but when you think about it, I talked to people in Georgia, poor people who, were Trump voters, and they really realized that racism had lifted them above their ability.
Hmm.
And if things got right, if we equalized everything, that they were going to fall pretty far down.
Yeah.
And then you got, all these white people, if they had to compete with everyone, how many more lungs down the ladder would they be?
Hmm.
And so, this whole Swift, this, just make the connection. So it's the prejudice in America of, Europeans who really think that whites should be Europe and America, and red people should stay overseas. Brown people should stay overseas. Black people
Hmm.
should stay overseas.
Yeah.
This is a white country, and it's come to. I just never thought, as I said, as a minister, 25 years in what I call the racial foxhole, and
Hmm.
protesting and preaching and talking with politicians and really getting to know them. It's just for it to get to this place. Um,
Hmm.
but the other thing that you were talking about, Americans, it's amazing what Americans believe in the 21st century.
Yeah.
It's not a very sophisticated country, really. It's
No, by
really
no means.
divided. It has the educational elite who completely wiped out all the industrialization.
Hmm.
And that's what's one of the things that really happened is, they declared war on the middle class and destroyed it.
Yeah.
And as it became a global village, they no longer had to depend on Americans to sell to. They could sell worldwide. So screw the citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
yeah, that's how it works. And I don't know. People have to wake up. Democrats have to wake up.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing I'd like to say is whatever happens, we're not going back to the way it was
Mm-hmm.
before Trump, and it was severely broken then.
It
But I'm
was.
hoping
Mm-hmm.
what emerges out of this is what Lincoln called in his Gettysburg Address a new birth of freedom
Mm-hmm.
in the country
Yeah.
that we're always having to. And people forget, the founding of this country. I mean, that never happened before.
Yeah.
And that's not true. But another thing is democracy is a Greek invention of ancient Greece. And it got invented because the very wealthy got out of control and made
Mm-hmm.
life miserable for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's when democracy first emerged. But I forget the Greek philosopher, and this goes back to ancient Greece. But he just says, when you make laws and stuff, people will find a way to break it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what you're gonna have to face.
Yeah. And it's not just here. Look at some of the people that he's aligned with in other countries because look at El Salvador. And then I just
Oh,
read
and
an
then,
article the other day that like suspected gang members they're just like rounding people up, right? And then they don't even get a say or a trial or whatever it may be over there until like 2027.
yeah.
Yeah, how inhumane, is that?
Well, I'm going to use this term as a minister.
Hmm.
Trump is evil, and this whole movement is evil,
Hmm.
and this white supremacy is evil, and
Hmm.
it's really what it's doing right in front of your face. All the cruelty was what the slave owners did.
Hmm.
You know, uh, in Chicago, Timeo Black was his name, and he was a civil rights icon. And I got there just in time to bury him. He died at like 97 or so, so he lived a long time. But he used this phrase that I think captures it all, and it's all plantation politics.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
although the plantation's gone, this is what it is. The wealthy, they're the plantation.
Hmm.
And as
Exactly.
you can see, what I was telling you in the beginning of the American history, they were brutally honest. This is only for rich white people,
Hmm.
period.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of you can eat around the corners if you want, but it ain't for you.
Yeah.
And it's got to bring 5 million Africans to a
Hmm.
continent and treat them like crap. And then, because Jim Crow was simply the continuation of the Confederate Army,
Hmm.
and the brutality and the murder continued and to intimidate. And that's what Trump is trying to do now.
Hmm.
I'm t- I, if you lined up 10 Americans, I bet you 8 of them wouldn't come on this Comcast if you put a gun to their head
Hmm.
because they're
Oh
so
yeah.
afraid.
Hmm.
They're so
Yeah.
afraid. And
Yeah.
he's wielding despotic power.
Hmm.
He really is. And to turn the army on the people is the most un-American thing you can do.
Oh, hands down. Hmm.
That's just unbelievable.
Hmm.
And what is he going for? This is all race.
Yeah.
People can talk about it, and it's been what the wealthy have done in America and its politics since the beginning. Um, the wealthy want to control everything. They don't want a true democracy,
Hmm.
but they can't win on their own. So they bait everybody else with the race card
Hmm.
to vote for them. And then, you know, They voted for him, and now he took away their health care.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is plantation behavior.
And everything else, like, okay, you're into healthy eating. They have people like Gates messing with all of our foods, not to mention, for the
Oh,
longest
I don't know
time, we've
much about
had
that.
fast food
Wow.
restaurants on every corner. We don't need that.
What around every corner?
Fast food restaurants on every corner, you
Oh,
know?
I know. It's not even real food.
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they found a McDonald's burger that had been stuck in a couch for 10 years and it looked
Yep.
like it was new.
Mm-hmm.
And people eat that stuff, you
They
know.
do. Mm-hmm.
It's but again, just around that, the Europeans, all the pesticides we use on our crops are banned in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
the bad wheat that we use that causes all the problems, they don't
Yeah,
use
with the
that wheat in
glyphosate
Europe.
and all. Yep.
Yeah, they don't use that. And now,
No.
and even now, they're still using Roundup.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
using it on the food you eat.
Well, they're in with it. They're in with Monsanto, or I think it's called Bayer now. I think Bayer bought Monsanto. These, you
Oh,
know,
really?
yeah,
Bear aspirin. Oh, wow.
exactly.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the Holocaust.
And so, and some,
The
and
bear.
even,
Bear is the one that created the how
hmm.
to kill the Jews.
Mm,
Bear created those things.
yeah. Hmm.
The gas.
Oh yeah. No, we'll look at Agent
No, they
Orange. That was
manufactured it
created.
and stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think of that every time I take an aspirin. Being a
Oh
quadruple
yeah.
bypass, it's every day. Boom.
Hmm.
And the other thing is, people, truth doesn't matter anymore.
Hmm.
And I figured out, when they were talking about the dark state, what they really mean is we the people.
Yeah.
I mean, it did
Hmm.
be, modern times, democracy became an administrative state, so to
Yeah.
speak. And wow. So, you can see what they're doing. They're trying to tear it all down.
Hmm.
If we have a COVID, what are we going to do if COVID breaks out in America? There's not a vaccine. But I'll tell you what, the rich white people will get vaccines.
Hmm.
They'll go around the world till they find them.
Now, what do you think about look at some of these leaders in Africa and like even current like even during like the COVID era, there was I think John Magufuli, he was of Tanzania, and he mysteriously died and he questioned things like okay, here's one thing is that he was speaking out against like the during the COVID era with the tests, these PCR tests, which the inventor said these are faulty, and he's like, well, you can test an apple and it'll come up positive, or you know what I mean. There was tests with Red Bull and things, and then he just like for him to question things, right? To question the norm, and then he just mysteriously dies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we're getting towards that
Hmm.
kind of thing here. Um, I don't understand it, but he obviously prefers dictators over democracies.
Hmm.
He loves Putin. But again, what's happened there is the Trump family never paid back. And so banks, the only place they get their money, where they get their money, to make it short, where they get the money is Russia.
Hmm.
And he wanted to build a Trump Tower out there, and then he had a beauty pageant out there, and they've been developed. Here, I'll get radical on you. Yeah, I think Putin has developed Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you think, I mean, between Helsinki and what I saw 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
it's crystal clear. He's like a little boy next to Putin.
Mm-hmm.
And that summit or whatever they called it, Putin just played him so, oh, it was real. That's an embarrassment to the American country.
And you
And what
said,
and what he did is
mm-hmm.
he took a mass murderer and rolled out the red carpet on American soil for the most murderous leader in the world right now,
Mm-hmm. But
who's
they've been
KGB.
doing it too with Netanyahu. Have you noticed
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is the country. The country has completely shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Most Americans do not support Israel.
No, not at
No,
all.
not
And
at all.
mm-hmm.
Christians included.
Yeah. Well, no, but there's a lot of, but here's the thing though, there's a lot of Trump Christians that, do because of him. And they're like, Israel's the chosen one.
Well,
Israel's the
that's
chosen.
old. The radical right is, or
Mm-hmm.
the religious right. It's always had its way. That's how Israel has always had. Because when you think about it, the Holocaust and stuff,
Yeah.
and blah 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 blah. But if you want to get into that, uh, the Palestinians have a real point. The
Yes.
Jews don't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
Just period.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And the only reason they're there is because the Americans and the Europeans refused the Jews to immigrate. So they created a country in the Middle East and told the
Yeah.
Palestinians, just get the blah blah out of here.
Mm,
And Jews originally were brown people, but they've been in Europe for so long that and so you dump a bunch of European white Jews in the middle of the Middle East. You don't think they're going to be hated, you
yeah.
know, after
Mm-hmm.
what Europe did to the Middle East
Mm-hmm.
through the 19th century, that whole imperialism thing?
Yeah.
And is the reason why the Middle East is so messed up as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the British, they just destroyed India,
Yeah.
which was a subcontinent. It's not a country. It's about 30 countries.
Mm-hmm.
But you make it a whole country because you're going to economically rape it and
Mm-hmm.
take its natural resources. Ah,
Yeah. Well, look at back to, the Palestinians and look at what Kushner, beachfront property in Gaza, wipe out of land. He said, Trump has said we're going to move them. Netanyahu said we're going to take over Gaza. And
yeah,
it's front page news on like the Wall Street Journal. What about
yeah.
these media outlets?
Well, you know who owns the Wall Street Journal? The same guy who owns
Hmm.
Fox.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
it's an English company, by the way.
Hmm.
They're English. He's English.
Yeah.
Murdoch is English.
Hmm.
And yeah. Yep. Fox paid out $875 million in court and had to admit that all the stuff they did during the election were lies.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
they pay out almost $1 trillion and just keep
And
on doing it.
that's the thing is that a lot of these supporters, they're, obsessed with, oh, I got to nightly watch Fox or even worse, Newsmax, and that, Hannity starts now. And that's their indoctrination for the day. And they get it on a daily basis. And then, their mind is completely inundated with that, and that's their mentality for life.
Yeah, it all started Reagan. Reagan let in the religious right. Yeah, Reagan. Republicans understand that on their own they can't win elections.
Hmm.
Just real Republic, because they're the rich people,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to get the date right, but it's been the party of white people forever and ever in America,
Hmm.
and so.
But what do you think about people like the Michael Moores and such? Is uh, are they really for the people, or they're just playing a game, or
Oh, well, I don't know. Now you go,
mm-hmm,
having been a minister for 35 years and watched how, it's the same question with clergy and stuff. You can
mm-hmm,
just play it to the hilt. I don't know. I think Michael Moore did some good things. I think when he spilled out the whole on the table of all the bullets
mm-hmm,
and said, this is how many bullets this guy shot. This is what they sold him, and it's like 1,500
yeah,
bullets.
mm-hmm,
But people.
yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for Jesus,
And
but
what do you think? Here's another thing. What do you think's going to happen with the Mom Donnie running for mayor of New York?
well, I'm pretty left wing. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
that's
with
what
you
America
100%, but do you
needs.
think they're going to find a way to take this guy out?
No,
No, he's gonna win, you think?
yeah.
Okay. Because New York is sick of this, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
They've really
But you know
spoken.
who called him? I tell you what, why it's on.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's reached out to him?
Who
Obama.
okay. Mm-hmm.
Happened yesterday.
I see. Mm-hmm. Because even, it's funny, even a lot of Jewish people and all different walks of life in New York say, hey, we support this guy, you know?
Well, yeah, it's just common sense. It's really, if you want to look at it from American history, it's kind of a progressive
Mm-hmm.
era. It's real simple. People, you can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the tension that America always has with liberty and equality.
Mm-hmm.
And the whites tend to think that, it's all about liberty, and their idea of liberty is money, and money is power,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's equal. Forget that. That's just pretty lies. Come on, just get real,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, and and again, people, want to call it left wing, this, that, and the other. It may have some pinches to it, but really, what I've seen, what he's talking about, is just very practical stuff. People can't afford to live in New York anymore. They can't afford these
No.
exorbitant
Mm-hmm.
prices and blah blah blah. And you got to freeze some things up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my own opinion is we need to become like Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You're provided housing, education, food,
Yeah.
and then let the competition begin. If you want to make a million, but don't punish people just because they don't want to be an asshole like you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the other thing, this making money thing. You really got to be. And some people just won't do that. Won't do that to other human beings, but most will. And
Mm-hmm.
I've watched it in church for 40 some years.
Yeah.
People do that. It's was it Jackie Robinson, the first black professional baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got all this experience, first time for a black man to be involved in all the, and he came out of that saying very simply, America's real God is money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're seeing now.
Oh, hands down for sure. Hmm.
Yeah, it's money. The very rich want to control things, and they bait uh, the middle class people with race, and they get
Hmm.
them to vote for them.
Yeah.
But in New York City, imagine, just imagine if you could afford the bus fare,
Hmm.
if you could afford your rent,
Oh yeah, that's
you
huge.
know, all that
Hmm.
stuff. But I've had friends uh, get jobs in New York and make tons of money, and they live in New York and they're poor.
Hmm.
Money just gets sucked down,
Yeah.
just to survive, just to
Same,
survive.
same thing in other places, like even Chicago, but at
Oh, Chicago.
LA. Hmm.
The thing about Chicago was I'd never seen poverty that drastic.
Hmm.
In my whole career, I was around poverty and around kids
Yeah.
who didn't think they would live past 12. And some of them were right.
Hmm.
You know, even the last church I was at was in Chicago, Hyde Park, very wealthy neighborhood surrounded by the ghetto.
Okay.
It's where the University of Chicago is, a very conservative university.
Yeah, I know exactly
Yeah,
where that
Cheney
area is.
got her law degree there, you know.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
but wow, you just see it.
Hmm.
And they have police every 5 minutes, a police officer. So they have almost as many police as the city does.
Hmm.
And so they just but in my apartment, which is right on top of the university, oh, I heard gunfire every night. And it was less than a block away. And
Hmm.
I could tell, you know, who was doing what. And you can hear it. The cops are outgunned.
Did you feel unsafe at all, or you just,
Oh my God, you know, I was there 2 years and I
hmm.
saw three dead teenagers on a sidewalk with the
Jeez.
blood coming out.
Yeah. See, it was
You
different where I
can't
was
pack
because
people like sardines and expect
hmm.
it to turn out right. And Chicago, even though you know, the mass exodus, a lot of black people up in Chicago,
Hmm.
you get grits and shrimp, all that stuff. You know, they brought the South right up.
Yep.
And but boy, the whites still control that city, even though the
Hmm.
mayor can be black and stuff. But it's
Yeah. Hmm. So,
and
and it,
everybody doesn't like the mayor there now, Brandon Johnson. I think
oh
he's
yeah.
good, you know, because he's again back to the New York guy. It's just common sense,
Hmm.
and it's where things need to go. I forget, but a book that people, you know, our real problem is, and I haven't read this book yet, but that we don't think in terms of abundance.
Hmm.
We think in terms of scarcity instead of sitting down and going, okay, here's the society. What do we need? What do people
Hmm.
need? How can we
Sure.
construct this? Blah, 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 blah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But like John Lennon, you know, maybe someday you'll join us and the
Hmm.
world will be as one.
Yeah.
It's
What do you
really,
think about things like the school system? Do you think it's not teaching the right things? Do you think it's set up to not teach the right things or
oh, I think public education is so ignored that
hmm.
it's not even no, it's not real. When I lived in Providence, and these were, and Providence is a very multiracial city, big time,
Hmm.
big time. And I lived in a working class Catholic neighborhood, and I could walk 2 blocks to my right, and I'd be in the hood. I could walk 3 blocks to my left, and I'd be in the wealth.
Hmm.
And you know, everybody living together. You know, I'm sorry, I don't know why. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Hmm. No, you don't need to apologize. Yeah.
No, I'm 71. That's the
Yeah. But as far as like teaching, things like survival skills or, what's really going on, don't you think that the school system is failing big time? Maybe they don't have the resources, or maybe they're not allowed to teach
Well,
these
there's a
kind of
book
things.
called Winner Take All Politics,
Mm-hmm.
and it came out just after Bush and the whole meltdown. And people will tell you that the economy is like an animal, that it's alive, and you can.
Mm-hmm.
And these two authors, and they're the ones about abundance, the same people.
Mm-hmm.
But they go, no, it's not. It's decided by Congress. And they went all the way back to Nixon and traced how the religious right has destroyed everything
Mm-hmm.
purposely.
Yeah.
Get rid of the unions, not because they're corrupt. Anything political is corrupt. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
just what it is. But you get rid of the unions because then you cut off the middle class. They have no power in Congress now.
Mm-hmm.
And you take all the money out of education because you don't want them educated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you take all the money out of higher education, which is why it's so freaking expensive now,
Mm-hmm.
because they wouldn't go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
So we're not going, so only the rich get educated. And this system works very well for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their kids go to private schools and then they go to, and I was kind of, this is personal stuff, but, I was here for the Wilmington riots and during freshman orientation at Duke University, the freshman, uh, well, the woman, the freshman dean is the word I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
She called me into her office and said, "Oh my God, you've been educated in a public school that's in North Carolina that was during the Wilmington riots. You won't last a semester.
Wow.
There's
Mm-hmm.
no way you can last." Woo! I will admit, I was the only person I knew, except for people of color, who
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a car, who did,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So another story, and a Wilmington story about how the racism goes so deep. I was
Mm-hmm.
just coming out of the grocery store, HT, the other one,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and we said hello, and she said, "Well, how are you doing?" And I said, "Well, really, this has really got me down. What's going on in the country, and
Mm-hmm.
this racism and blah blah blah." And what she was a hospice nurse at the hospital,
Okay.
and this client was very angry, and he wouldn't tell her why.
Mm-hmm.
And she's black and he's white. And finally, she said, "Really, what's wrong?" And what he said to her face,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my God, I'm going to die with a nigger holding my hand."
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just the hate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the racism. It's about hate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jesus got it right. The opposite of love is not hate, it's fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear creates hate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's, but imagine if they just opened up the educational system and you want to go to school, you can go to school. You can't afford it, we'll
Exactly.
pay for it.
Yeah, especially with universities and college.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Mm-hmm.
But because I'm a Duke graduate, I keep up with the basketball. And so I go to the student paper to look, but you can see, and it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is really, he's trying to shut Duke down because they have an affirmative action
Yeah.
program.
Well, even
He's really trying to shut it down. I mean,
mm-hmm.
Duke is a Republican school through and through. I was lucky when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Terry Sanford was there, so it was a liberal school at that time. Former
But
governor of North
uh
Carolina.
They were trying to deport the Sudanese basketball player. Did you see that? I don't think they did. Did they get away with that or no? I don't think so.
Oh, you mean the Duke player?
Yeah,
Model Watch?
yeah.
Well, everybody talked, the final game
Mm-hmm.
or when they lost.
Yeah.
He was nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
He had the worst game of his career. And I don't know, it is too much basketball speak, but
No, not at all.
yeah, he's big and stuff, but he's only been playing for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's extremely underdeveloped, and you could see that at Duke. But he's
Yeah.
extremely coordinated, and he's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And Cooper Flagg, what Cooper Flagg said about Malawach was, it's the best human being I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was the government informed him 2 hours before the game that they were coming after him.
Yeah.
So he was gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what
But
you
Duke's
mean.
not going to let that happen.
No. Mm-hmm.
No. So he's,
Well, I
but
think we have to, look at I read an article before we went on discussing, and it said that they are fighting. There is a judge, I think in Miami, fighting to shut down Alligator Alcatraz.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's what it takes is like,
Yeah.
not that you and I have faith in the, legal system or whatever, what's going on, but at least fight back. There has to be pushback.
Oh, it's the American story.
Hmm.
I mean, as early as John Adams, he tried to ban the free press.
Yeah.
You can't criticize me.
Hmm.
And there's been 5 presidents that have been met with, you know, that's the whole Howard Zinn. Before we got on, I saw, he has a book out. I'm gonna get it, but oh, what's it? A power governments cannot suppress,
Yeah.
and that's we the people.
Hmm.
And that's always been, um, but the wealthy racist pretty well. But we've made them give. But now they're trying. What they're really trying to do is go back before the Voting Rights Act,
Hmm.
back before the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah.
So it's only
Hmm.
white people, in the language of 1790, it's only white
Hmm.
people.
Yeah.
And they really, I don't know. I just never
Hmm.
understood how people get that. But they do, and you can see it in animals too. You see birds fight, everybody fights.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
but it's kind of, by 2025, it seems like we could figure this crap out
Hmm.
instead of because what we're in now, it's real clear that we haven't evolved very far past the Civil War.
Yeah. Hmm.
We really haven't.
What do you think about when Trump came out and said, vote, you'll never have to vote again? Vote, my Christians, you'll never have to vote again. What do you think he
Right?
meant by
He's
that?
serious.
Yeah.
Serious. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to take away the midterm right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's serious. He thinks he's staying there.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people think, and I know even like the uh, Simpsons, they predicted a lot of stuff. And they
You
even
mean the
have
cartoon?
Trump get, yeah, exactly. They even
Yeah.
have Trump getting impeached, you know? That was one of the predictions. So it would mean Vance would take
Well, you
over.
can see how desperate they are because they're trying to gerrymander, not waiting
Hmm.
10 years. And so what you have here, really, let's be honest about it. January 6th was treason.
Hmm.
He should be in prison.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What people like to say now, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
That was treason. That was violence against the people of the United States.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that he calls Georgia only need blah 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 many votes. Remember that? And now
Mm-hmm.
he's done it in Texas. I need
Yeah.
5 votes.
Yeah.
He's trying to steal the election. And now it's coming up, and I don't know if they'll really play it out, but he actually stole this last election, and now they have proof of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they also use, you know, people, look at somebody like Herschel Walker. They used him in Georgia to get, the black vote
Well,
out
that
there.
failed. That failed.
Yeah.
I was in Georgia at that time.
Okay. Oh, chime in on that.
Well, it was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Warnoff and I'm not going to remember the other guy's name, but I
Yeah.
was able to vote for them for the first time. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to vote in the election where Biden won Georgia,
Yeah. Okay.
and and what I would tell people and stuff. Of course, I'm in the community, and people and said, "Well, look what happens when you let everybody vote.
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans lose." They understand
Yeah.
that. You see, they
Mm-hmm.
understand that. Now, Democrats gerrymander as well. It's not.
Oh yeah, it happened
Yeah,
in
I would just say no more gerrymandering and that we scientifically do the math.
yeah,
Like
because I
California was
remember that in
doing.
California. I was just gonna
Yeah, like
say, yep.
California was doing. But if you're going to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we'll see. We're right in the middle of it, and we're right in the middle of American history. This is real history.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, wow. This could go down before the 250th anniversary. It
Yeah,
could go
that's a good
down
point.
completely
Mm-hmm.
because, people wake up. You're in an authoritarian country, you're in a fascist country now, and
Mm-hmm.
you've been bamboozled, and you need to stand up.
Yeah,
How much more are you going to take?
exactly. Mm-hmm.
They're going to take your health care away. What? Unbelievable.
Well, not only the
But
healthcare, they're
this is,
taking away
this
your
is
healthy
American
foods
history. You
too.
go back to the Great Depression, you go back
Mm-hmm.
to, it's exactly what it was. The rich, before the Civil War ended, 8 out of 10 Americans died in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
8 out of 10.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we have this tug of war, liberty. I can do anything I want, blah, blah, blah. And then equality,
Mm-hmm.
which implies level playing field.
Yeah.
And that's always been the American dream, and it's never been reached.
Mm-hmm.
I come off, people, uh, but what I hope is that we're not going back to where we were, that this
Mm-hmm.
truly is going to be we're going to create something new.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go to the Constitution, and because there's no morals anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine Martin Luther King Jr. What would he do in this culture? There's no conscience to appeal to.
No.
There's
Mm-hmm.
no moral, And the church used to be the moral heart of this Christian society.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the church? It
Yeah.
was there for civil rights,
Mm-hmm.
but not this time.
No, not at all. It supports it, you know?
I'm
It
afraid so.
supports what,
So I have this dream of,
Trump is doing, yeah.
going to Wilmington churches and just lay them out.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
start quoting scripture, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But that's not where they're at, because to me, the heart of Christianity has always been Matthew 25.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the parable of the Last Judgment. And it's the point where what you did to the least of you did to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he did was it was really a religious quiz to his disciples. And, you know, I'll give you a quiz of the integrity of your faith if you're really on it. And it's just simply, did you feed the hungry? Did you give thirst to the thirsty? Did you clothe the
Mm-hmm.
naked? Did you visit those in prison? And did you visit the sick?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it is. And this and what they're doing and this religious right and how they can call themselves Christians.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the church played a major role in making slavery normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all this stuff Trump's doing, this is becoming normal.
Oh, yeah. On a daily
It's been less,
basis.
it's been 10 years or so, but 15 years ago, people would just tell him to go.
Mm-hmm.
But this
Yeah.
is, but you could see the culture and in churches and stuff, you could see it. And David Brooks, a conservative columnist who I like, um, had a article, and I think it hit it on the head. And we're part of it.
Mm-hmm.
We created this.
Yeah.
If you have a college degree, you're okay. If you don't, good luck. Because we're shipping everything overseas and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not bringing stuff back.
No.
Nobody can afford what it would cost to produce it in America,
Mm-hmm.
because we'd have to reinstitute slavery
Mm-hmm.
to get the cost. It's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But to me, if everybody has a chance and stuff, the country will do so much better.
Yeah.
All boats will rise.
Mm-hmm.
And this 19th century, because if you're going to be modern about things, nationhood is a 19th century concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's obsolete, man.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's a global village now.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yeah.
So what is all this? It's but at my age, it's just, again, it's
Mm-hmm.
painful. It's painful to watch this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I saw on television the first time, and they have many others, but the Latino guy just cutting the grass in front of not McDonald's, but the pancake place. And thank God people have their cell phones now, and they
Yeah, because they can
ring
record it.
around.
Yeah.
These guys he's cutting the grass, and they just go and tackle him.
Yeah.
And then they
Mm-hmm.
drag him to the street, and then they start, and he's in his 60s, and
Yeah.
all three of his sons is in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump's getting away with that.
Yeah.
And he's hired, and this is the Ku Klux Klan all over again. Because
Mm-hmm.
the other thing, I forget her name, but the senator in Alaska admitted a year ago that the reason Congress is because they're physically threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he let those people out of the January 6th crowd? Those are his brown shirts. This is
Yeah.
serious. Wake up,
Mm-hmm.
America. This is real brown shirts and real violence that comes.
Mm-hmm.
And people, I mean, you can go down the line of the worst ones, and this happens every day.
Yeah.
Look at the Pelosi's. You're sleeping in bed and someone, takes a hammer to your brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
And this, what do you think of did you ever imagine, well, I bet you probably did, that this era where, this ICE, who we don't even know who some of these agents are, we don't even know who most of
no,
these agents are. But did you ever imagine that we live in an America like this, where, like you
no,
said, that they
no.
even went after like people who were just watching. Like I read an article today, like an African American in I think it was Orange County, just at a car wash, saying, this is inhumane. And like you said, they tackled him, you know?
Well, there was a guy who threw a sandwich and they took him to jail.
Yeah.
He threw a
Mm-hmm.
sandwich at him.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
And I think back, at being at May Day in Washington,
Mm-hmm.
where the hippies shut all the bridges down. You couldn't get in or out of the city.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's around 300,000 people circling the White House, around and round. And that's when he
Mm-hmm.
declared martial law. He freaked out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they threw us behind barbed wire at the Washington Monument, is what
Mm-hmm.
they did. But America, obviously, I don't really get why we're so docile.
Mm-hmm.
But Nikisha Coates, I come back to that. It's cowards.
Yeah.
It's just cowards.
Mm-hmm.
Or they really want the white supremacy. That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's why that old guy at the grocery store the other day, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing it as bad as this white supremacy. They're gonna burn in hell for this because I
Mm-hmm.
could I could tell I was getting under their skin. So I might as well just.
Well, there's somebody else that another one of my customers, and he said this. He's like, "Oh, well, he was pro ICE," and he's like, "Well, they were shooting at ICE agents." He goes, "How is this not an act of terror?" But what ICE is doing is perfectly fine in this guy's mind, and I'm not
Well, I'll be
surprised
honest.
because his
No,
mentality.
it's what I'm finding in that grocery store,
Hmm.
which caters to well-to-do white people. I mean, that's what it's for.
Hmm.
And I talk with some people, these well-to-do white folks.
Hmm.
Oh, I mean, they justify what they just like the person you were talking about.
Hmm. Oh
To
yeah.
watch it on video and to I guess the most shocking thing is, my father fought in the Second World War,
Yeah.
and now my country's Nazi Germany. How did that
Hmm.
happen?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Hmm.
How could any American consider this?
Yeah. Hmm.
But the British are going that way. Europe, Europe's struggling to hold on to their democracies.
Yeah. Hmm.
And Germany, the Nazis are a player.
Yeah. Hmm.
They're a player.
Well, look at places like London. They're making it very hard for people to survive. Like they even got laws against you moving your car that's over 8 years old or whatever it is, over 8 or 10 years old, and they fine you for going X amount.
Did you
Yeah.
see Washington the other day, what Trump is doing? They're destroying all the homeless camps
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
with big machinery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jeez. Yeah.
But they don't get it. Another thing, and I understand the liberals can be, for some people, hard to handle at times
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And I found it later in my career in the Unitarian Universalist Church. that I was becoming increasingly aware of how much of a dinosaur I was around the new sexuality,
Yeah.
which was, but I can tell you, as a minister in these churches and having ministered to kids that have sex change operations that
Mm-hmm.
go through all this, they're not evil.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, they're just kids.
Yeah.
And uh, they're just kids. And so, we all fought to make the country more open, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and now they're trying to push it back before the
Yeah.
50s,
Oh yeah. And
you
it's
know.
so blatant obvious
Yeah,
to
I know. It's
people
right in
like
front of your
us.
face.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the idea that the racism doesn't go away, it just changes itself
Mm-hmm.
and tries new avenues
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and things. I think.
Well, hopefully, more and more people will wake up. And
Whoops, I'm sorry.
seriously, if you look at things like, have you seen the Project 2025 website? Or have you glanced over it? Because it's almost like the playbook.
It is the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I read every word.
Yeah. It's exactly what's
Not very
happening.
good writers, I have to
No. Mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah.
But these are PhD people
Mm-hmm.
with that much hate.
Yeah.
What is the problem here? And
Mm-hmm.
but the problem is white people.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
God, just because I was born here, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my skin color's not illegal,
No. Mm-hmm.
you know. And you always thought back in the early, but you have nothing to give, that we're all God's children and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But when I was bringing up the guy about is that and he's David Brooks, and but he points out that we took the church out and just told people, well, for ethics, you're just kind of on your own.
Yeah.
Figure it out for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and we're going to create this autocratic country where there's no manufacturing and it's all educated people
Mm-hmm.
really just drinking and spinning their wheels in buildings.
Yeah.
And so where are we?
Mm-hmm.
It's really, we created a caste, which is what slavery was, a caste.
Yeah.
And the rich whites seem to think that they can make a caste of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I read this is in California. Anyway, her daughter was in Rhode Island, and so for not Memorial Day, Labor Day, we did a sermon, and I knew about it and blah blah blah. So Rhode Island was even before Massachusetts for the cotton mills and the children,
Mm-hmm.
child labor.
Yeah.
And so we dug into that history and made a whole service out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but when the land, the women, when they came down on them, the women quit. And the newspaper wrote a scathing editorial about the American spirit,
Mm-hmm.
that these rich people think they can treat us any way they want, like they treat the kids who are barely clothed in their shops.
Yeah.
And we're not going to let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see that here. It's
No.
what I call rekindle the patriot's dream.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that when you really look at how the country was founded and take away all, well, you can't, it's inherent in it. But even for the founding fathers, when it was more than they thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It was more than they could handle. But it was
Yeah.
the first time of no king, no dictator, that we can
Mm-hmm.
govern ourselves.
Yeah.
We can govern ourselves. We don't need a king who thinks
No.
God has blessed him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember Trump with that
Oh,
email he
how can
sent
you
out
forget
to the
it? Come
Pope?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jeez. Don't remind me.
Hmm?
Don't remind me of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, make the elections fair, take all the money out of it,
Mm-hmm.
solidify the Constitution, defend the Constitution with all the stuff it needs in this day and age.
Yeah.
Because they've really run, and what does it have to stand if you don't obey the law?
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing for us, except for we the people, the protests. That's
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
only thing. That's the only
Yeah.
thing left.
Hands down.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's the only thing
So,
left.
yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming on as a guest. We've discussed a lot today, and uh,
And these are
you
my
know,
opinions. They're not
mm-hmm.
facts. But
And we'll have to do it again down the line because so much is coming out, and we have to be a voice, so
yeah, you know what I'm thinking of doing? Going down to the Democratic Party
okay.
and just walk in and said, when are you gonna get off your ass?
There you go. You mean
What are
here
you
or
scared?
just
Are you scared?
yeah,
They are.
exactly.
They should be.
Mm-hmm.
The elites in Wilmington are quite violent. They have been
Yeah.
for years
Mm-hmm.
and years.
Yeah.
It's the old plantation, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it in Southern culture. It's
Yeah.
shut up, no new ideas, and just do
Mm-hmm.
what you're told.
Yeah.
And
So,
maybe we'll slip you a five.
mm-hmm. Well, it's been a lot of fun, Don. I really
Yeah, it's been
appreciate
fun
this.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you around the bend
Yeah, there we
at the
go.
grocery bend.